Carolyn is committed to the well-being of children. She doesn't care what they look like, what they sound like, what language they speak, what their parents' backgrounds are. She loves every single one of them and wants to see every last one of them succeed in the same way.
I grew up with the knowledge that you do give back. One of the tenets of daycare is that it takes a village to raise a child.
So she's reached thousands, probably thousands of lives through her work in 50 years. I mean, we serve a couple hundred children every year, and her impact has reached individual children and their families for decades.
It was my lifetime board member. I was the second lifetime board member of Southside. You had to be on the board for 20 years.
Contributions that Carolyn has made to this organization are phenomenal. I mean, you think of board members have to be out gallivanting or at black tie events, and she'll do that when we ask her to, but it's not her thing. Her contributions run the gamut, and they're not insignificant. These birthday cards that she writes to children might seem small to you and me, but they're not small to the child who gets to grab the envelope and open it and get this personal, happy birthday wish. Her relationship with teachers and the bonds that she's formed with them, and just her way of supporting them.
One of the biggest delights that I see is the teachers. They come in every day, 52 weeks a year. They don't have summer off or Easter breaks or Christmas breaks, but they come in excited to teach the children, and they just give them their all. They're so dedicated and so good with the kids. I love to watch the teachers interacting with the children, and that's what keeps me going back, is the teachers and the staff and the board members.
We use this metaphor a lot about roots in the community and growth. It's because of her that we have the ability to keep on going 126 years from the vision of our first founders. And that's the other thing that she contributes to us, is that institutional memory and really the legacy of these women that she's carried on for us, and that we know will be in place for another 100 and something years, if not more.
To tell you about Sandy, I've known Sandy probably about 20 years, 25 years. I've always admired her energy, her enthusiasm. Sandy is the type of person that will not take no for an answer. She gets things done and does not let anything stand in her way, and I think that's wonderful. That has always been a great talent of hers.
I look at challenges as opportunities, obstacles as opportunities. Many times when you sit down around a table with a steering committee for a project, somebody will say, well, I really don't think we can do this year because maybe the mailing didn't come out right, or something else isn't exactly the way you want it. But that's when you have to sort of dig in and make sure that it's done right, even if you have to do it yourself, which I have done on occasion.
She absolutely wants to leave her community and her world in a better spot for her children and grandchildren.
I think it's really important to show your children how to be part of the community and give back. And also I think it's important to leave a place better than you found it.
The economy is not doing well, everybody's pinched by rising cost of living, and Sandy wants to go out and raise $4 million for a new hospital wing. And that's not an easy job, and not something that a lot of people assume could even happen.
We had originally thought we might be able to raise $5 million. They said, no, you'll probably raise $3 million, but you possibly will raise 3.5. And we end up raising almost $4 million, which in today's economy in our little town is a really big deal. And we're very proud of everyone who helped us achieve our goal.
we'd like to think of her as the person when somebody says it can't be done, then get Sandy involved because it'll get done.
Probably my proudest moment is the day we cut the ribbon for Alton Memorial Hospital. It was a big deal and very, very humbling.
Sandy is not going to be deterred by those who say it can't be done, and that's the message I think she wants us all to sort of carry away, that if you see something that needs to be fixed, then you're the one, you're part of the fix, and you need to step up to that.
Well, I think this year's whole Women of Achievement shows you that people are very interested in volunteering and giving back to their communities for a variety of reasons. And I think their role is very important. We get things done when there isn't maybe enough manpower or money to get it done otherwise.
Four years ago, the Federation of the Sisters of St. Joseph came to my company, Nick's Conference and Meeting Management, and it was business as usual. We were going to help them plan an event. However, they wanted to choose a hotel that had a policy against sexual exploitation of children. I wasn't aware of the issue at the time, and I Googled it when I went back to the office, and what I found was shocking.
And for the last 4 years, we have been working on the initiative with the human trafficking, kind of getting it started, figuring it out, and moving our way through the process.
Something that most people don't even think is in the United States is very prevalent here, and it's prevalent in the hotels in the US. I knew, as a mother of 2 teenage daughters, I couldn't tolerate this. So I worked with ECPAT USA, which stands for End Child Pornography and Trafficking, and the Sisters of St. Joseph to get the Millennium Hotel St. Louis to sign the ECPAT Code of Conduct, which means they will not tolerate child sex trafficking in their hotels. They have a policy against it.
The more exposure that people have to the topic and hear about it, and usually by the 3rd time they've heard about it, they really start thinking, okay, I can ask bigger and bolder questions. I can even ask, what can I do to help? Because it truly is happening here. And I think her passion and persuasiveness have given that awareness what it needs.
My motivation to volunteer with the organizations was the fact that I had the ability to make a difference. I have a voice, and for whatever reason, the media's picked up on it, and we have taken this to an entirely different level. The media has taken this information and they've carried it on, and all we've ever asked for, the key to fighting this, is awareness. And we have brought an awareness that I would have never imagined could have happened.
I look at the human trafficking as a circle where you need awareness, then you need education, then you need reporting, then you need the enforcement, then you need the rescue, and then you need the safe harbor of it. And then it starts again, and everybody has an element in that.
I was motivated because I have 2 daughters, and my daughters are taught by Catholic sisters to be strong, confident, powerful women in their community. And I want every woman and every child to have that opportunity to know that they can have a voice and they can have an impact in their community. This is not the end of the road for them. Once they get out, it's the beginning of the road.
I'm probably the really right person to tell you about Marcia because we worked together on a large variety of organizations and committees and boards and have chaired events together. We work on the Art Museum Board, we work on the Mercy Foundation Board, we work on the Zoo Board, we have been co-chairs of several events. We co-chaired the Opera Theater Gala, we co-chaired the Symphony Gala.
Oh, I started volunteering a long time ago. I think I told somebody that the first volunteer experience that I can remember was in sorority in college.
I know a lot about her volunteer activities, and she's a great gal to work with, and there's hardly an institution in this community that she hasn't touched in one way or another.
There are volunteer opportunities for anyone who has the time, even a little bit of time.
Nothing's too small or nothing's too large, and she's so good at what she does that, you know, she's the perfect volunteer.
Why not volunteer? How much can, I mean, you can there's a lot of things to do in life. I can only spend so much time at the gym. I can only spend so much time doing these other things. Someone once said that you need someone to love and something to do in order to have a happy life.
So she really is the perfect, ultimate volunteer. I think if any organization could clone a Marcia Rusnick, they'd all like to do that, or maybe clone 10 Marcia Rusnicks.
I was so proud to be given the Variety Children's Charity Award for Woman of the Year because those kids are so terrific and the parents are even more so. And to be involved with that group of people was really a thrill for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Variety's 2009 Woman of the Year, Marcia Rusnack.
It's just amazing and heartwarming, and
I think it would be interesting to know if there were any way to adequately determine probably how much money she's raised through her efforts with all these organizations over the years since she came here in '98. It would be in the millions of dollars. So I think our community is so fortunate that she and her husband Bill decided to move here and call St. Louis their home, because you couldn't ask for better citizens and more involved people in this community. They're terrific. She certainly does embody what a volunteer is like, and she certainly does deserve this honor of being a Woman of Achievement in 2012, and I'm thrilled and blessed to call her my friend.
I think Barbie was picked for the breadth and the depth of all her volunteer activities, which are so diverse in the community. And it's her passion, her leadership, her warmth in doing it all. She inspires people to contribute, other people to contribute as well.
Volunteering is essential in this community more now than ever, especially when we have fewer huge corporations based here who can give or will give the major donations. We need volunteers to step up.
Barbie's a very successful leader, and part of that is her great personal warmth, her loyalty to people, her integrity, and her concern for so many causes and people, and to make the world a better place. And while she's an inspiring leader, she's also a tireless worker. She works so hard.
In the Jewish tradition, we have a slogan or a saying, Tikkun Olam, which translates from the Hebrew to meaning repair the world. And I think that's what all of us want to do, is to make this world a better place.
One of her most significant projects was the creation of the Stem Cell Divide, a documentary which she did with some very good friends of hers. And that really brought the issue into the fore. It was very balanced, a journalistic report.
I co-produced and co-directed, wrote this documentary, The Stem Cell Divide, which chronicles the stem cell controversy in Missouri went on in 2005, 2006, culminating with the Amendment 2 campaign. We tried diligently to show both sides of the issue fairly.
She's very altruistic, and I think she got some of this from her family, generations of her family, and she's passed it along to her daughter, Amanda. And they just care about the community and the world and want it to be better. And I think it's her passion, her loyalty, her personal warmth, and of course her talents. Many talents.
I'm really inspired by my daughter, who's now 24, who at first I wanted to be a role model for her, and it made me try to do better and be better. But now she's kind of my role model. She's just a great example and role model, and she inspires me. And my husband, who's so kind and loving, and who always encourages me to try new things and to try things that may be scary or challenging.
Barbie's an example of, I think, how to live in a community, how to give back, how to contribute. She does this as a volunteer in addition to her busy life. It's what's important to her in her heart, and that's what she pursues.
I think volunteering is not only, at least for me, I think it's just a self-fulfilling kind of mission to have. to be able to give back.
Carol is one of the nicest people in our community, I think. She's warm and she's friendly. I've never heard her say anything bad about anybody. She's just somebody people want to be around. I can only imagine the number of people who she has gotten involved because she sees a problem or an opportunity and really works with others to address that.
As we all know, the not-for-profit world is difficult. And in these, difficult financial times, economic times, that it's hard to raise money. And I think part of that spirit of giving is, again, to set an example, but to really show the outcomes and what's happening and how to make our city better.
Think about the things she and Michael have done and the things that they've supported. Think about the kids who have graduated from college or will be graduating this year, in part because of Carol. Think about the people who need food who are being supported by the Jewish Food Pantry. Think about the 1 million people who walk through the doors of the Jewish Community Center each and every year. She helps make that happen. And it's really wonderful that we can be here today to celebrate her and thank her for all she does.
We started the Steinberg Family Foundation to be able to sort of channel, I would say, our ideas and how we felt like we wanted to give back to the community.
She actually brings quite a background of success to every not-for-profit she joins and every initiative she supports. And it's her, I guess, her passion and her knowledge of how you break through barriers that really helps make things happen.
So many organizations are so dependent on volunteers that I just think it contributes to the vitality of a city.
If not for people like Carol and all the other honorees today, this place would not be nearly as wonderful as it is. And we need people, especially those of us who work in the not-for-profit community. We rely on people like Carol to help forge our initiatives and do the great work that we do.
We feel pretty lucky in where we are in our lives, so giving back really feels like it's right, and it feels good to be able to do that.
I think we live in one of the greatest giving communities in this country. I mean, we've traveled to other charitable events in other cities and in states and things like that. But I tell you, St. Louis, you can't top the giving. The people who are just so concerned, take such concern for the community, such givers in this community.
I think that she's always one to take whatever has been given to her and do the best that she can, take it up a notch. I think that we've been blessed with, some of the access that we have, and the job that I work in and some of the things that she's been a privy to. She's always tried to help find a different angle, a new angle, a fresh angle, and also reinstate the spirit of giving.
I believe as much as given, as much required. And my faith teaches me also that when you've done for the least of them, he said, you've done it for me. I'm presently on the board of St. Louis Art Museum, the St. Louis Symphony, and the Sheldon Concert Hall. I tend to gravitate towards the Variety Children a lot. It's such a wonderful organization. I get such gratification working with them because the hugs, the smiles, it's just all gratifying, and I don't want to continue, I might start crying.
I think one of the great things about her and then my dad is that they only do business with people that give.
I still feel like I still have a lot more to do. So as long as I'm here, I will be doing and giving.
I think the best way to describe her is they see how genuine she really is. They see that she's a person who is sincere, who really believes in what she is a part of, that she doesn't, is not a part of a charity to, get the glory for herself, but it's really to give the glory to God and back to the people that she's trying to give to.
We have a great responsibility, to do for others, Not just, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you is great way to live and a great thing, the golden rule to live by. But to actually be doers of it, that's a different thing. Whatever, we can do to help. We feel that we're here for that purpose.
St. Louis is a wonderful community with so many great organizations. There will always be needs.
I think that almost any event that you hear of in the past few years, Carol has had a hand in helping make St. Louis a better place for all of us.
Volunteers are dedicated to doing their part to help out. And each of them is really so pleased to be doing their part because they know that they're part of a bigger, larger common good cause, and that is to make the St. Louis community better for generations to come.
Carol will probably be modest and say, well, I helped with this, I helped with that. But in many, many cases, more often than not, Carol's the chair of these events. And Carol is not the kind of chair who just shows up in a sparkly dress on the night of the event and has the first dance with her husband. She's the one who's helping plan the event, she's stuffing envelopes if that's what needs to be done, and she's cleaning up afterwards. I mean, Carol is a full package, and when she brings her passion to your party, you know it's going to be a good event.
It's not about me. It's all about the good work that each of these organizations does. I do treasure the friendships, and I am so proud of the executive directors, the staff, and all the volunteers that I've met. We're all in this together to help make this a better community.
She gives generously of her time to work particularly, I think, with children's organizations, family organizations, ensuring the wellness of our community, especially for those in need. And of course, she has a great love for the performing arts. So you see her in a lot of different roles, but I think the thing that links them all together is Carol's personal passion for making this a wonderful community.
I've always been motivated to get involved in volunteer work because I love St. Louis. I was born and raised here, and I have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. And I just want to make St. Louis a better place for their grandchildren.
St. Louis would not be as great a place without Carol Voss.
I would like to congratulate all of the other Women of Achievement Award winners this year. I just put my heart and soul into the causes that I believe in.
Well, my first husband died of leukemia, and while he was fighting for his life, he and I were talking about how much he wanted to help other people.
Her husband at 37 found out that he had leukemia, and basically before he passed away, he gave her a diamond. She felt that she needed to help the community and other families go through what they were going through. And so she created the Diamond Ball. And so for 25 years, this Diamond Ball has been going on, raising millions of dollars for the St. Louis community.
Well, I grew up in a family that always just liked to give and help other people. So for instance, Missouri Baptist University needed a chapel and they needed a performance auditorium for the arts. So we helped get them what they needed. I love to see the enthusiasm of the kids performing concerts and plays and musicals, and they love it, for one thing. They just enjoy using the building.
Thank you, Mrs. Pillsbury Wainwright, for your commitment to Christian higher education and NVU.
I think it's wonderful. I think St. Louis has so many places that you can go to help in any field, be it medical or art or educational, because I'm involved in all three in a minute way, and I think it's rewarding because it's just in my nature to want to help other people, and I think everyone feels good when you can help somebody else.
Well, what's amazing to me about Mary Pillsbury is that she has given so much back to this community in so many different arenas, from abused women to her love of music, and given back that back to the community in the form of scholarships and the finest musical equipment. But I think her greatest gift to this medical mecca that we live in the St. Louis region has been her, the help with the research with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
I hope that everyone hearing this will go out and help some charity tomorrow. I'm sure most of the people in the audience are women of achievement, so they're already doing everything they can, and I feel honored to be considered one of them. But I think we can all probably do more than what we do now. I plan on doing a lot more, and I hope everybody else will be inspired to do the same.
You always come to some point in your life where you find that thing that you can't walk away from.
She works directly with the kids, and she forms these relationships, and it's a very personal thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's very personal. These people have names and lives. She knows their grannies and their siblings, and she is committed out of that determination to make a meaningful change.
College Bound was created to serve the needs of all of the needs of students who are living in really desperate circumstances and don't have a way out, but have so much potential and have such beauty that would go wasted.
How does a kid that doesn't have privilege, that doesn't know someone that's ever been to college, how do they possibly navigate this process if they don't have privilege? And that was the birth of the idea of College Bound.
You say, I can't live my life being so disconnected from the suffering that's in the world. And for some people that means working on heart disease, some people it means working on, human rights, some people, it means working on just basic needs. But for me, education was the transformational tool.
She's shown what it means when you really put your heart and soul into something, what you can make happen. I think it's astonishing what's been accomplished in 6 years. College Bound's being acknowledged on a national level for showing outcomes that other organizations have not been able to demonstrate yet.
All the students who come into the program, the first thing that they learn is to whom much is given, much is required, and they know that the things that they're getting to do are because there are angels in our community who have surrounded them without knowing them, just these invisible arms. What a beautiful thing that is, that people are willing to give so much. So it's just built into our culture that everybody gives. And that's how we become great, is like we really link our arms together and we stand shoulder to shoulder and we go out and we make things happen.
We all want to believe in what's possible, but so many things are broken that it's hard to keep that hope and determination. And she is showing the community what's really, really possible.
I guess my wish for everybody is that that which is invisible would be made visible to them, and that they would find their place in the world that they can't walk away from.